The Oceanic StarCraft 2 Championship has been announced. It's going to take place January 2nd. It's going to have a 10K prize pool. It's going to be an online format featuring some really great players. Huge shout out to Eddie Edwards, by the way, the league commissioner, the admin of the league. Does a lot for StarCraft, and really OSC I don't think gets the recognition that it deserves. They sponsor Root, they do this league. OSC has given out around $250K this year alone in 2016. And also, I know for a fact that Eddie Edwards puts a lot of himself into this project because he just really likes StarCraft. And I think that's something that should always be commended and elevated in this community. So that was our good news. We're done with good news now. Now it's on to the rest. The Freaka Freaks have announced that they are closing their StarCraft 2 roster. This is hot on the heels of the Pro League announcement. The Pro League's going to shut down, and all those teams announcing that they were going to close down. The announcement from Afreeca came hours after Patience won Home Story Cup, which is some really bittersweet timing. You have to believe, I would hope, that Patience knew that this was going to happen ahead of time. So maybe him winning Home Story Cup was a wash of relief. But if he didn't, man, that is some bittersweet success story right there. Take, the man whose namesake is on Take TV and the creator of Home Story Cup, made an announcement regarding the future of that tournament series on Reddit the other week. Take talked a bit about how this particular iteration of Home Story Cup was almost an outright loss for him because he could not recruit sponsorship. Thankfully, MIFCOM, the German computer sales company, they stepped in at the last minute and made it so that Home Story Cup would be a financial success instead of a burden for Take, and thank you, MIFCOM, for doing that. In my last Please Pause, I talked about Home Story Cup as an event to look forward to in the rest of the year, and it's an event that actually brought me into StarCraft 2 quite a fair bit, and it sucks. It's a really special event for me, just to watch, as a fan. It's my favorite event in all of esports, and it sucks. I think there was a really big part of me when I started doing this stuff thinking, man, maybe I can grow to a point where I can go to a Home Story Cup and even be a personality that's on the couch and quipping jokes and stuff, or just, a little fantasy thing, which is dumb. But it sucks to hear that your favorite tournament is in such serious jeopardy. That's all I can say. A lot of people have raised crowdfunding as an idea to help Home Story Cup and continue with the current size that it is. But I don't know if that's a viable thing, guys. Looking at the history of StarCraft, there were a couple of projects in 2012 that failed, and then ever since then, it's been really an uphill battle for most StarCraft 2 crowdfunded projects. I think it's kind of obvious that Home Story Cup will continue in some capacity. It's very unclear what Take means by the idea that it's not profitable in its current form, how much downsizing needs to be done to make it a sustainable event, and is it still worth doing for Take and Take TV as a brand at that point after the downsizing? I don't know. I kind of wish somebody would come out and say something regarding that. I haven't seen anything. If anybody does know something, link it down below. I am sure that Home Story Cup will continue in some fashion. I mean, Take ran a Home Story Cup kind of event for Overwatch over the summer, and it was great. It was lots of fun, and I hope to see lots more. I love Overwatch too, The Overwatch is the other thing that I want to do. And Take TV as a brand has done lots of different esports, is always doing lots of different esports. I mean, the other day they were doing a Rainbow Six tournament. That's pretty cool. If there's any silver lining here at all, it's the idea that Take TV is overall, I think, the message that I got in a pretty good spot. So all the power to them, and I hope that they can bring us esports just forever. Just forever, guys. Just bring us esports forever. InControl announced that he was signing with CSA, the Cyber Solutions Agency, which is essentially a talent agency for esports personalities. They have people like Rachel Seltzer, Smix. They do pretty high-profile stuff. And he kind of reaffirmed the idea that he's going to stick around in StarCraft as frequently as he can. So that's good. Obviously, people love InControl, so, good. In other news, Dark announced that he's looking for a team, which should really be news to no one. But it does raise an interesting conversation about how likely is it for a foreign team to pick up a Korean player. And I think right now the answer is not at all. Before we find out what 2017 is going to look like, there's no point in signing anybody. There's no point in doing any deals. At least it doesn't seem like that. And I'm sure the team owners agree. Dark is one of the best players in the world right now. Obviously, it's underscored by a second place showing in WCS. We'll see what happens. For anyone who remembers the Panzer General from back in the day, Goody now also finds himself teamless. So with the buffs to mech, maybe there's a real opportunity for Goody to make a real strong showing for himself in a couple of tournaments and become the best player in the world for the Terran race. In signings, we have Golden going to My Insanity, which I think is great. Everybody loves Golden. He is experiencing like a real renaissance after leaving the military, and he's streaming a lot, and he's just a kind of fun-loving guy. He's fun to watch. It remains to be seen whether or not he's going to play in WCS 2017. If the region lock is still there, then I don't see him competing at the top level in Korea. But if the region lock is removed, maybe My Insanity is going to send him all over, just the way they always do, so that would be cool, I guess. Root OSC also picked up Igaz. Igaz is a former member of Root OSC, and I've said in the past that I think Root needs to be a little careful with who they sign and who they drop and everything like that, because Root often feels like more of a clan than a team. But I mean, I don't know. They do their best to support StarCraft players. I think that's the real theme there. When one of the alumni finds themselves teamless and without support, then Root comes in and says, "Hey, we'll pick you up." So credit to them for that. Like, you can't really fault that. That's a good thing to have in the scene. And also, Guru was picked up by the Romanian team IzImba. Guru obviously becoming infamous after being racist in game chat with TLO while TLO was streaming. He got picked up like 5 days after that happened. And it's not by a podunk, do-nothing team either. IzImba apparently has Demaga in the roster right now. I love Demaga. Demaga was actually one half of the first game I ever watched. Alumni including Lily Kaneen, who's risen in relevance in the past number of years. I literally don't understand why you would pick up someone who has just such recent bad news. He was dropped from TES for a reason. I'm told that this guy is actually one of the best ZVZ players in Europe too, so like that kind of sucks. And I'm in favor of second chances, guys. Like, don't think that I'm against someone making a stupid mistake when they're young and then learning from that mistake. But it's been 5 days. I really doubt Guru learned very much in 5 days. And I don't think he had the perspective and the time to reflect that he would need to learn anything serious. So I kind of call shame on IzImba. So to me, this week has been really, really rough for news. So this video is going to come out on Thursday as soon as I edit it and cut it up and post it for all of you. And what I would like to do tomorrow on Friday, November 25th, I'd like to stream and I'd like to do a call-in show in the same vein that I've been doing. Please pause live. And I want to hear from you guys, and let's talk about the current state of StarCraft 2, and let's talk about the direction that it's headed in for 2017, because I have a lot to say, and it can't be, I've compressed for this video already. So keep an eye on my Twitter, follow the Twitch. I have a Discord channel that I use, I'll link that down below. Until then, and if you can't tune in, then see you later. Happy Thanksgiving, American people. Be thankful for StarCraft and esports, and we'll see you real soon.